discussed. Last week we have discussed about our workbook and finish it, and also we started our new lesson, which is now we are in this programming part, and we learn about programming concepts. So basic, we got an idea. So about the modularization or decomposition. So can you remember why decomposition is used? What's the reason for using decomposition? Why you decompose a problem? Yes, without reading. Yes.
So solve it in an easier manner.
Yeah, then in case of complex problem, it's very easy to solve this because you have visible small parts. Okay, I'll take another example from your book. So let's say you have your final year examination, that means grade 7 exams or grade 8 exams. So you want to prepare from the entire book, right? You want to prepare from the entire book. You want to read the entire book and go. But fortunately, in your book, you have chapters. So if you take entire book, it's difficult to understand and difficult to remember. But when it takes chapters like programming, application development, security of the computer system, internet and email, then related to chapters, you can organize your knowledge, you can organize the things and keep it in the memory. So then it is easy to solve problems one by one because of this decomposition. In your book also, so if you want to remember how decomposition is practically used, in your book also, book is decomposed to manageable units. Manageable units. බෙදලා තියෙනවා පොතක් ඔයාලගේ අපිට focus කරන්න පුළුවන්, manage කරන්න පුළුවන් units වලට. ඉතින් ඒක තමයි decomposition කියලා කියන්නේ. Okay, then let's move to the use of flowcharts to represent an algorithm. So, okay. So let's try the heading. Let's try the heading. Use of flowcharts. Use of flowcharts to represent an algorithm. Okay, under that, please write down. When we want to solve a problem using a computer, we must write computer readable programs. When we want to solve a problem using computer, we must write computer readable programs. Before writing such codes, we need to clearly understand the problem. We learned that a complex problem can be decomposed to manageable modules so that it is easy to understand the problem. After clearly identifying the problem, we must create We must create a clear plan to communicate. We must create a clear plan to communicate with programmers and other interested parties. We must create a clear plan to communicate. So after identifying the problem, the next thing is you need a strong plan, a clear plan. Writing a plan using natural or human readable language. Writing a plan using natural language will lead to ambiguity and ultimate solution will be affected, and ambiguity, and ultimately the solution will be affected due to communication errors. Okay, right up to this, then I'll explain these points. So because so there are some terminologies maybe not familiar, those are some technical terms. There are some technical jargons or the technical terms. Maybe you cannot understand that.
Okay, sir, finished.
Finish writing. Okay, good. Right.
Right, sir.
Okay. So I'll give you 1 more minute to finish. Okay. So step by step, we are going to learn why we need flowcharts. Step by step, we are going to learn why we need flowcharts. Okay, number 1 is identifying the problem. We learned that last day. Done. Number 2, we have to communicate this identified problem with a proper plan. Because before doing anything, we have to plan. ඕනම දෙයක් කරන්න කලින් අපි සැලසුම් කරන්න ඕන. Okay, before building house, we have to create the plan. Before constructing a bridge, we have to create a plan. ගෙදරක් හදන්න කලින්, ලොකු පාලමක් හදන්න කලින්. So even before building an application or before building a mobile phone, you need a plan. Phone එකක් හදන්න plan එකක් ඕන. ඒ වගේම laptop එකක් හදන්න plan එකක්. ගොඩනැගිල්ලක් හදන්න plan එකක්. ගෙයක් හදන්න plan එකක්. For all these things you need a plan. For road you need a plan. For bridge you need a plan. Right? For a machine, a large machine, you need a plan. So without a plan, it is very difficult to build things without a plan. So, and there are some consequences. That means problems. Plan එකක් නැතුව දේවල් හැදුවම ප්‍රශ්න. මොකද පස්සේ වෙනස් කරන්න ගියාම ප්‍රශ්න. අන්තිම plan එකක් නැතුව දේවල් හදද්දී අපිට වියදමක් කීයක් යයිද කියලා කියන්න බෑ. We can't estimate. We don't know how many people we don't know when to finish. We don't know how to finish. And let's say the party has given up, the construction party has then plan එකක් නැතුව අපි පාරක් හදන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. හදන කට්ටිය තරහ වෙලා යනවා. එහෙම වෙනවනේ නේද ලංකාවෙත් ඔය වෙන්නේ උන්ට. ගෙවල් මොනවා හරි බිල්ඩින් නැත්නම් පාරවල් හදන්න අරගෙන හරි මොකක් හරි දෙයක් හදන්න අරගෙන ටිකක් කල් ගිහිල්ලා ඒගොල්ලෝ දැන් සමහරට ගවර්න්මන්ට් එකම චේන්ජ් වුණාම ඒගොල්ලෝ යනවා යන්නේ. අපිට බෑ කියලා. Then if you don't see any plan එකක් නැත්නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Then the next party ඊළඟට හදන කට්ටියටවත් හදා ගන්න බෑ. Because they don't know what this is. Right, okay. So one very good example, Sigiriya. Sigiriya is one of our heritages. It's a world wonder, right? But Do you have plan of security? Anyone? Do we have? We don't. I don't know whether it's hidden somewhere, but we don't have. If we had that, we can re-implement that technology. We can use that technology to do something, some more. So there's a rumor, or there's a say, or there are some rumors about about this Ramayana, Ravana, and Rama, and this the Dandumonara story also. The Dandumonara කියලා එකක් හදාගෙන ආහසෙන් ගියා. අරයි මේ ඔය ගොඩක් තියෙනවා කතන්දර. Right. But the problem is, where's the plan? If you can plan, if you can find the plan, අපිට පුළුවන් නම් plan එකක් හොයාගන්න. ඒ හදපු එකකින්. Then we can rebuild that. We can reinstate, we can retry with that technology, because we believe that we had a great history. Believing is not enough. We need some clear evidences, and if we had a proper plan to re-engineer and find these evidences, as well as if we can re-engineer and find this plan, then we can re-implement the technologies. Right? You know that there are some evidences even, but we don't know the plan. ලොකු පර්වත එහෙම ගල්ලේ අරගෙන තමන්ට ඕන විදියට ඒවා ෂේප් කරලා හැඩ කරලා එක එක ඒවා හැදුවා කියලා කියනවා. එතකොට ඒවා දිය කරන්න ඕන බෙහෙත් තරම තිබ්බා කියලා කියනවා. But the only thing is we don't have plan. හැබැයි මේ plan එක අපි ළඟ නැහැ. කොහොමද ඒක තිබ්බේ, මොනවාද ingredients, we don't know that. Nothing is recorded. So that is the weakness. Our history has evidences, but nothing is recorded. Right? So that is the major issue that we are facing. If we had recorded history with the proper mechanisms, we could have retried. Maybe someone else, maybe there are some attacks which ruin those things. That can also be a problem. විදේශික ආක්‍රමණ ආවම ඒගොල්ලෝ අපේ history එකේ evidences ඒ හදන විදි ඔක්කොම විනාශ කරා වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Don't know. We don't know. Okay, anyway. So then, after clearly identifying the problem, we must create a clear plan. Then hari api there alutin deyak karaddi, we have to have a clear plan. And that is to show programmers and interested parties. Writing a plan in natural language will lead ambiguity, and ultimately the solution will be affected due to communication. And what is that? Well, eka liwuth ඔය සෙල් ලිපි වල තියෙනවා වගේ. If you write this in natural language, what will happen? Can you read these things? දැන් සෙල් ලිපි එහෙම කියවන්න පුළුවන් කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද? අර පරණ භාෂාවේ. Is it possible? It's difficult, right? It's only assumption. It's only assumption. We don't know the exact meaning of that. Right? That is the problem of natural language. But symbols, okay. So let's say you are a Chinese person. If you are, assume you as a Chinese person or Chinese කියලා හිතන්න. So what is this? What is the meaning of this? Right? What is the meaning to you? Is it Chinese or is it universal?
It's universal, sir.
Universal. Anyone in any region, any language, pronounce in anything, and use in any language, any culture, anyone can understand this. So that is the beauty of these symbolic things. So that's why we are going to use symbols. In flowcharts, we are going to use symbols, because symbols are more powerful than the human natural language. Because natural language always cause ambiguity, always cause ambiguity. Natural language එක ambiguous. ඒ කියන්නේ පැටලිලි සහගත වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ පැටලිලි සහගත වෙන්න පුළුවන් නිසාම තමයි ඒ වගේ මේ පැටලිලි නිසා මොකද වෙන්නේ අන්තිමට අපි හදන එකත් අපි හදන software එකත් පැටලිලි සහගත වෙලා අවශ්‍ය දේ නැතුව අනවශ්‍ය දෙයක් හදලා ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් මේ පැටලිලි සහගත unambiguous වෙන්න පැටලිලි සහගත නොවෙන්න තමයි අපි symbolic විදියක් use කරන්නේ flow chart. Okay, that's what I want to tell you. And මේ flow chart වලින් හදන එක අපි කියනවා මේ flow chart වලින් අපි හදන solution එක, that solution is called an algorithm. Algorithm is a systematic way of solving some problem. හරි, algorithm එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි ක්‍රමානුකූල විදිහක් ගැටලුවක් විසඳන. නිකම්ම විදියක් නෙවෙයි. දැන් කියනවා හරි මම වා කියලා කියනවා go and tell you have stomach ache. Stomach ache එකක් තියෙනවා නැත්නම් බඩ රිදෙනවා හරි මොකක් හරි කියන. So doctor can prescribe medicine. And maybe your friend can tell බඩ රිදෙන්න මොකක් හරි කාපු හින්දා මේ so you better drink some water and that will solve the problem. That is not a systematic way of solving the problem. But doctor can diagnose this and identify a problem, root cause, maybe query you, ask few questions, what did you eat and what kind of age is there and where you can feel the pain. Likewise, he or she will systematically diagnose that and give you a solution. Doctor කෙනෙක් දෙන්නේ වගේ ප්‍රමාණිකූලව අහලා බලලා ප්‍රශ්න කීපයක් after checking your pulses, heartbeat, maybe checking whether you have fever and all. Likewise, he or she will analyze a lot of things before giving a solution. That is called algorithm. Algorithm is a systematic ප්‍රමාණිකූල විදිහ of solving a problem. Okay, let's write down that as well. Therefore, flow charts are using a set of standard symbols to represent an algorithm. Algorithm is a systematic way of solving a problem. Algorithm is a systematic way of solving a problem with a series of steps, instructions, and a flow to guide those instructions. It's a systematic way. ක්‍රමානුකූල විදියක් මේ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳන. It has a series of steps. පියවර ගණනක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම උපදෙස් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. A set of instructions, and it also has a flow. The instruction ගලන්න ඕන විදිය. කොහොමද මේක execute වෙන්න ඕන. So doctor will say, drink this before your meals, before 30 minutes of your meal. That is the flow. When he or she is prescribing a medicine, they will tell that take this 30 minutes before your lunch. So that is the flow. Instruction එක දෙන්නත් ඕන, flow එක දෙන්නත් ඕන. Instruction එකෙන් කියන්නේ කරන්න ඕන විදිය, flow එකෙන් කියන්නේ when, how, after which, before which. Right? That is the flow. Okay, let's see what are the symbols. So without taking much time, what are the symbols? Symbols in flowchart. Write us up any symbols in flowchart. Symbols in flowchart. We have few symbols. Symbol number, so these are the symbols. I'm going to copy the same symbols and write this in English. Okay. To show the start and stop, you are using this rounded corner rectangle, showing the start and stop. And to show the input and output, using a parallelogram, input, output, using the parallelogram. And the process is shown using rectangle. Decision is shown using a diamond. Diamond is for the decision. And the circle is shown in a connector. Connector using the circle. Sorry. Connector showing using a circle. An arrow showing the data flow. This is connector. An arrow showing data flow. Okay, after drawing this, I have a small question to you. Question number 1. Draw a flow chart and write program codes or code blocks to input 2 numbers, find the total, and display it. I'll give you the chance to do this. And before that,
Sir, should we need to draw that symbols also?
yes, you need to draw that symbols. This is how you draw it in the book. So let's say you have to tell start, maybe input number 1 and do something. This is process, and output something and finish. Start, input, maybe input number 1, number 2, add these numbers, display the total and finish. So this is how sequence is applied. No need to use the colors. Colors are not needed, but just the symbols and the data flow is needed. Symbols and the flow of logic is needed. Okay, just give a try. Just give a try to do this. Just take 1 minute. Use these symbols and give a try. I'll explain this, right? I'll explain this, but before that, please. Okay, so you can just arrange, you have to just arrange the symbols. So it's like this. Okay, let's arrange the symbols in this way. You can start. Right, then input this number 1, number 2. Inputs can be actually put together, right? So let's edit this.
So I finished.
Okay, good. You got something like this? I hope.
Yes, sir. It's
Okay. So the first thing is you have to just tell in start, then enter number 1, then enter number 2, then total equal number 1 plus number 2, then the total or the display total and stop. That's all. Simple, right? Okay. So then, right, okay. So start is there. So if you have not done, please do. Then karanna start. Then you have enter number 1. Enter number 1. Then the second one is enter number 2. And then you're telling the total. So use minimum word, minimum number of words, no sentences, please. Total is N1, N2, minimum number of words. Then print total and stop. Okay, that's all. This is the flowchart. Okay, how to write the program? That is the challenge. So let's go to the Scratch interface and start writing the program. I'll send you the link for you to log in. Okay, while writing this, please log into this interface.
Can you put the link?
Yeah, already added. And let's try to do this, implement this according to the plan. This is our plan. According to the plan, we can start our coding. Okay, the implementation part. According to the plan, you can start. When I click the flag, sensing, you can ask, enter number 1. And you can read that number to, you can just read that number to a variable. So variable is the place which is going to hold this value. And let's say N1 is a variable, and you have N2 also, and total also. These are the places to hold the values. And you can say set N1 to this red answer which is red. You can put it here. Then you can just take a copy of this and take it again here, enter number 2, and read this to the second variable, that is N2, this one. And then you are going to find the total. From the operations, you can say, or from the variables, you can say set total to, from the operations, you have to add from the variables N1 and N2 together. That's it. That's our program. Okay, finish drawing the flowchart. Anyone is still doing the flowchart? සාමාන්‍යන කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද නැත්නම් ඉවරද flowcharts?
It's done, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, shall we try with the program now? Okay, the cat is telling enter number 1. So when I click the flag, cat is telling enter number 1.
What we need to do in this scratch? I can't understand.
Okay. Then enter number 2. And they need to find the total and display this. Okay, you got this interface? Did you get this interface? Who said that you cannot understand? Shamin, are you?
No, sir.
Then who said that cannot understand? Yes. කවුද කිව්වේ? තේරුන්නේ නැහැ කියලා? Tinura, is that you? Nadun? How's it?
No, sir, not me. I'm not Tinure.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm asking a question which is related to Scratch, not to this topic, but not to this topic. I created the game called Pong.
Mhm.
Sir, how can I create a backdrop for it? Like when it touches the ground, like game over, how to create a backdrop?
Backdrop.
Yeah, my own one.
You can paint it. You can go here and there you can paint. So when you go on top of this, you can paint it.
Sir, I did it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, those who said that you cannot understand, can you repeat that? And then I can explain this again. Stretch is used to program this. Stretch පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ මේකේ code එක ලියන්න. හරිද? එතකොට අපි කරන්නේ, so we are using these controllers according to this plan. Plan එකට අඩුව controllers use කරන එක තමයි කරන්නේ. Okay, if you load this interface, කවුද කිව්වේ තේරුන්නේ නැහැ කියලා මට එතකොට උදව් කරන්න පුළුවන් පුතේ. ඒකයි මම අහන්නේ. Not to penalize you. If you can tell me who said that, then I can log into your computer and tell you. Can you repeat the person who said that? Sasiru, is that you? Sasiru.
Sorry, it's me. I'm Danuli. I have to rename my device. I didn't tell that.
Right, okay.
Excuse me, sir, how to do it?
Devamin, you need the help?
Yes, sir, I can't understand this.
Okay. So Devamin, have you loaded this interface? Make a load karagattada?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then can you go to events? Can you go to
Yes,
event?
sir.
Okay. Can you drag from this flag click one? Click and drag to the middle.
No, sir, I know those things, but I don't know how to do this thing.
Do what?
Do Scratch.
Yeah, that's what I'm teaching, right? That's what I'm teaching, right? Okay.
I know this scratch junior, not real this scratch.
Right. So you have to practice this, not the junior one, right?
Okay, teacher.
So click and drag this, then you can say when click flag is click. That is our starting point. Then we have to get the input now. To get the input, inputs are taken using sensing. In strat, inputs are taken using sensing. Outputs are taken using looks. Looks are the outputs. Sensing is the input, right? You have to sense, ask a question. You can ask, okay, enter number 1. Right, that is a question. So that when you ask this question, the answer will be saved to this. When a user give answer, then make it a type karana. Let's say when I click the flag, it's asking enter number 1. When I type 78 and click the right sign, that answer will be saved to this answer attribute. My answer attribute make a save. You can use this and save it in your own variable. Variable is like variable like hariyata mug ekak wage. It's like a mug, empty mug. In this empty mug, you can put anything, any kind of liquid, any amount up to this level, right? Any liquid up any amount. So N1 is like a mug. You can put any number there. N2 is like another mug. You can put anything there. Total is like another mug. So we have created, we have clicked this make variable, and then we have given names. So first one is N1, the second one is N2, and third one is tot, and we have created 3 variables, that is 3 buckets. Okay, something similar to 3 buckets. Okay, then we are going to set, yes.
Sir,
How to walk it?
How to?
How to walk the cat? I don't know.
Wait. Still, we have not touched that point, right? Then etana eka neme api karanne ekin එක ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන. This you don't try to learn everything together within one day, then you will not learn this, right? You have to like learn one by one. So still we are not into catwalking or something. So still we are trying to solve the fundamental issues. How to store something in a variable, for an example. Okay, then you know this bucket is empty. That empty bucket is N1.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I asked these questions and I set a voice and like asked like lively.
Speech, I think, sir, he's talking about.
Sorry.
I mean,
That text to speech on that
Speech.
that is
Text to speech. That is also that is also library, right? Ekat library ekak chuttak inna eke. Api karamu e tika. Don't worry. Libraries are
sir, I did it.
Okay.
I did it.
Yes, I know that. Can do, right? Because there's various students are in various levels. Maybe you can even do better than me. I know that. But let's go according to the lesson order, right? Lesson order එකට අපි යන්නේ. එතකොට ඔක්කොම දැන් එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි මෙහෙම පැන ගියොත් when we jump and go like this, then we will miss some middle places, right? Then our knowledge is not consistent. We don't know everything, but we know something, right? So we have to first build the platform, right? Before building a house, we have to put the concrete and build the platform well. Otherwise, after building the house, even this has multiple stories, it will fall down one day. You have seen this has happened in some places, even in Kandy, right? After constructing the house, if foundation is not strong enough, then the entire house will vanish with the lives. That is too dangerous, right? So if you learn something with some halls, but only some above parts, without the fundamentals, what will happen? Again, similar to that, we will collapse one day, right? Step by step, right? I'm going to explain this from the beginning, very beginning. Hurry. Now you have this N1 bucket. You have to fill this N1 bucket right? You have to fill this N1 bucket with the answer you have taken in the input. Then the second part, again you have to ask input, enter number 2. Enter number 2. And that way you have to put this
How to
second,
do it? I didn't get it.
right? That is N2. Have you tried N1? N1 haduwada devmin?
No, teacher, I have never. Can you do it again? The N1 thing.
So are you looking at my screen or doing something else?
Looking, teacher.
Okay. Right, because so I have explained very slow mode, right? Flag click එක ගත්තද? Flag click කියන එක ගත්තද? Okay, I'm again go to the beginning.
Teacher. Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
හරි. එතකොට දැන් මේක ගත්තද මේ sensing වල තියෙන ask what is your name and weight කියන එක ගත්තද? Sensing වල ඒක ගන්න ඊළඟට.
Sir, I got that thing and enter there's something in enter number 1.
Enter number 1. Okay. Okay, after that, have you created this variable N1?
Yes, yes, sir. From that I forgot.
N1 is created. N1, N2,
No,
and
sir. No, sir. I can't find it.
that is in variables, the orange color one.
Yes, sir. I went to that but I can't see anything there.
So not even, so you cannot see N1, I know. You have to create that. You can see like this, right? Then make a variable, give N1 as the name. Make a variable, N1, name it as N1 and click OK. Then N1